afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I haven't done no vlogs for quite some time. Just been busy doing other things, and the weather hasn't been too great. Rain, storms. I've been doing a bit, which I haven't been filming really. I haven't done much on the boat at all, but I was doing this helm because obviously, as some of you know, I fiberglassed a new back wall. Now I need a helm, and I can't seem to find anything that I want, so I've decided to make a helm myself out of fiberglass. It's all going to be a bit experimental because I've never done it before, so I thought we'd give it a go. So I've made, well, a sort of template for what I think I want. I'll show you that in a minute. I've just made it from some 12mm ply, bit old bits what were left over, so I haven't used nothing new, it's just old stuff. And I'm going to try and fiberglass the inside to make a mould that I can make the helm from. I'll show you what I've done so far. This is the mould I was telling you about that I've made. It's just some old bits of wood what were lying around. I've had to put this on the top just to square it up on the top and the bottom because it would not stay square. And as you see, I've got this paper on the inside that is actually parchment paper, because I obviously don't want it to stick to the wood, so I've actually PVA'd the wood. And I see someone was saying about parchment paper that the epoxy won't stick to it, so I'm going to give that a go. As you can see, it's got little bits here and there. I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to epoxy some of it up and see if it sticks or not, if it releases. So a bit of an experiment, and we'll see how we get on. It's actually came out better than I anticipated. The way it was moving, it seems to have gone quite flat now, so I'll do a bit more and we'll see how that goes. Well, I've finally finished doing the inside bit of this mould that I was making. Pictures are not great, but the top I'll just go round later with a little Dremel machine, cut them off so it's straight round the top, and I'll have something to actually work from. I'm going to get it out, well, try and get it out, see if it, just going to prise it around the edges a bit. Doesn't seem to be too stuck on there at all. Maybe I spoke too soon. See what we get. Well, it seems to be coming out okay. Don't know where to put it. Not much space on this boat. Let's see if I can sort myself out a bit here. Right, I've just moved the wooden mould bit out of the way, just because it's in my way. See if we can get this sticks on up. That seems to come off okay. So we have sort of 2 degrees of success here. One is it doesn't stick to the parchment paper, and the other one is the parchment paper is moving, so it hasn't come out brilliant. I think it's still usable. It's solid enough, but like I say, it's not great. But for first attempt, I suppose it's not too bad. Could have been worse. I don't know if I'll use it or not. Well, as you know, I started making this helm. The mould didn't go quite as planned. I was deciding whether to just abandon it, make a new mould, or continue with the one I've got. Well, I've decided I don't need the mould afterwards, so there's no point in me making all the inside really nice and then making a new mould, really, because the outside is not too bad, which I will show you in a minute, because I've only got 3 layers of chop strand matting, which this one's the chop strand matting. I've done it, made it with 450 grams chop strand, 3 layers, and to finish it, this is the woven stuff. I think this is 900 grams, I think it is, which is just adds all the strength to it. I've got to do that over the top anyway, so I'm thinking about, I'm just going to use the outside, because I've looked at it and the outside is not bad. It's doable, it just needs a bit of a sand, and by the time I've added the webbing on the top for the strength, then you'll have another 3 lots of the 450 chop strand over the top of that, which shows it's going to be quite meaty. So I should be able to straighten the outside perfectly well, really, now that I've looked at it. I'll show you it, and you can always leave me comments and stuff. And don't forget, you can like, subscribe if it's useful. Let me know if you've got any comments, and I'll show you what I've got so far. This is the outside, which is not too bad. It's a bit bumpy still, but I could sand that, a lot of it off, because you've got 3 layers on there. So I was thinking about putting the woven stuff on now, and then do another couple of layers of the chop strand on it, sanding it, and I think that will be perfectly fine for what I want it for. So I think I'm going to go with that. Now that we've now that I've fiberglassed this in, it's getting a bit better. It's a lot straighter. Don't know if you can really see it. It's a lot better. Obviously needs a bit of work still. A bit of sanding, doing a bit of filling up here. I tried shredding some fiberglass so I could just make like a paste of it, because you can buy it like that in 3 or 6 mil, but it was just going to take too long and I only had a day. But that just doesn't work, it's just too long, so it goes gloopy. So from what we had, which didn't actually work on the inside, we've got a fairly straight helm bit now. Fiberglass in this helming has been a bit of a nightmare, but it's getting there. The problem I'm having is where I want to make it round onto the back of the boat has proven a bit tricky, because you had a little gap in it. But you can use, it's just chop strand, it's all loose pieces. They're either 3, 5, 6 millimetre, something like that, little bits, and you mix it up so it gives you a thick consistency. But I'm only here for a day or 2, so I didn't have time to order it, because it's going to be about 3 days. So I've actually tried just getting some loose chop strand, pulling it apart, and that doesn't work. That's why the little bits are only 3-6 millimeters long. They're just too long, so it all becomes gloopy in one piece as you're trying to take it out, so that just does not work. But it was worth a go. If you don't try these things, you don't know. And there are a couple of places where I had a little dip. I've actually just fiberglass them patches just to fill it up a bit, so they have like 5 layers on. But it was quicker than making a new one. Just given this helm its first coat of undercoat. Might need a little bit more work still, but I think it's come out pretty well considering what we had. Doesn't look too bad considering how the mould come out. Straightened it up, got some little bits and pieces to fill, like here, but now it's painted I can see what I'm doing. It's come along pretty well today. Well, I better get off, got to go to work. I've painted the back deck with one coat of undercoat today, so it doesn't come out too bad. Don't know if it's coming out on the camera, but considering what we had with this helm, how bad the mould come out, it's come out pretty well. So I'll let that dry up a bit, then maybe get one more coat of undercoat on it, and then a top coat, and see what it looks like. We'll go from there, I think. Well, the helm don't look much different, but it's got its first coat of grey on, and the side walls. You see it up here mainly, where it goes from one to the other. That's where you really see the colour difference, like that. Now it's had one coat, I'll be able to start putting all this stuff in. The paint had just started turning, so it got a few little bits in it, so I'll have to give that a good sand before it has another coat. There might be a few bits here and there need sorting, but nothing we can't get over. Don't forget, you can like, subscribe. It is nice to see. I've had some nice comments from people giving me some better ideas and suggestions and stuff, which is always very, very helpful. I don't always get back straight away. It takes a while sometimes because I don't always have coverage, so sometimes it can take a week before I get somewhere where I've got coverage, and sometimes I'm just working, so I don't check it when I'm working. So I'm going to get on, and don't forget to like, subscribe.